Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to join you this morning, this afternoon, and we are excited that you guys have been consistent. This Monday, Wednesday, and today, you have been joining our meetings, and this is really encouraging. So thank you very much for your commitment to the cause. So it's Friday, the last day of our online course before we meet next week. We remember the plan. The plan was you will always submit some. We do some discussions online, and then you do personal reading. Sure, how many people were able to access the website so that they read what we agreed to be read. Maybe we'll check on that. But I have received the work this morning from Hemedi. So Hemed made some submissions. So I'm grateful that Hemedi, you were able to submit your work. I have not heard from any other person. Maybe we will hear from you as we discuss as the session goes on. So before we go any further, maybe I will welcome, may I welcome Ernest to have a, and then we proceed to get feedback from each of us. Ernest, you're welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very happy you have showed up here for our last online Zoom meeting. And if I look back in this week, you were really quite motivated and engaging in our course, which is for us also a motivation to look forward for next week. Okay, I'll give the floor again to Christian.
Okay. Thank you, Ernest. We are very happy. I must also thank you. You have been so committed. We know you're busy, but you have taken this course seriously, and we are really grateful for your time. Maybe to start with, I will start with the question of who did not have access to the website, the course website. So if you didn't have access, please, you can share, you can tell us. So you can simply unmute, and then you tell us.
Hello, good afternoon. Myself didn't get to the access to the website. It just say displayed an error. So
Lucas,
I didn't even check. Yes.
I'm trying to you know
The
know
link,
what is
the link
happening.
you find
I don't know why you can't have access to the website. Where are you, Lucas?
Marango.
Marango. Okay, can I hear any other person from Marango who did not have access?
Okay.
Grace.
Grace here from Marango.
Yeah.
I get difficult to access the website until I ask Kathy, I think Kathy, and she sent that chapter this morning, I think.
Yeah.
But previously I got difficult when opening that since yesterday.
Okay. Grace, thank you for the feedback. Who else do we have? Juma? Juma, did you have access?
You must unmute.
Juma? Elisha? What about
Yes,
you, Elisha?
I had access.
You had access. Thank you, Elisha. Amalet? Amalit?
Yes.
Yeah, what about you, Amalit? Did you had access?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Then, Ernest, maybe you can help us to understand, because I tried to log in. I mean
Connect.
to connect through different devices, and I asked several people to connect, and they were able. Then I don't know. Maybe you can explain what
Well,
could be happening.
well, I'm wondering myself, because in the morning we had also a Zoom session with
Yeah.
some 4 people from the advanced group. And
Okay.
I asked them whether they could connect to the website, and they said yes, they
Yeah.
were able. So I don't know from what kind of college they were connecting, and then what kind of, or whether they were working with a bundle.
Yeah.
So I could imagine that in certain colleges, they have a filter on the network, so they don't want the students to entertain themselves on the internet. That's why maybe you should also talk to the IT responsible people at your college. They might know how to connect, because I mean, you're not entertaining yourself, you're really studying.
Yeah, so I think that is really making sense. It could be that the internet in our environment could be Marangu. People from Marangu are reporting difficulties. So it could be true. Lucas, you want to say something?
What I need to say that the internet we are using is private.
Is what?
Through private
Are you using
network.
private?
I mean, through these bundles, we're not sharing different.
Okay. So it's private internet, and then you can't
Network
have access.
connection.
Because you know, Lucas, we are thinking about
network.
hello, Lucas.
Yeah.
I hardly hear you, Lucas. If you
Yes.
can, yeah. Can you please repeat what you just said? Hello, Lucas.
Yes, I just need to say.
If you can speak up better, maybe.
Then internet we're using is private. Then connection depends with the network connection. I mean different internet connections. So maybe there's a different problem rather than that one. That's one we can imagine.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
that's
so
very sensible. I mean, I think it needs a certain quality of the bandwidth.
yeah.
And if this is not given, there might be problems. But I mean, to use a Zoom session needs more bandwidth than just to access a static website.
Yeah, which means, Ernest, if you are able to have access to Zoom, then definitely you must have access to the website.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe it's a complicated problem that we may not have answers now. I start with Hemedi. Is Hemedi around? Hemedi, I've seen your work. Hemedi is not with us, but he did submit his work. So I don't know if we can hear your experiences if you have not you didn't have access to the website. So maybe I check what Hemedi has.
I mean, he was present in the beginning, he showed up, but he disappeared.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, so he did his work. And he was doing need SWOT analysis. So
Yeah.
maybe if you can allow me, Ernest, to
Yes.
project his work.
Yes, just a minute. I
Yeah.
have to give you the right. Oh,
Am I able to share now?
yeah, now.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Let me project his work. Can you see?
Okay.
Wait. Can you see his work?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is really interesting. He was doing a SWOT analysis, plus, interesting, minus. So maybe I will quickly go through what he has written. So the plus, he says, for online, online, he says time and place independent. Yeah. So it's like here, Ernest is in Switzerland and we are in Tanzania, and somewhere in Moshi, Dodoma, whatever, and we can communicate. So time and place independent. It doesn't depend on time. That's what he meant. And it also talks about allow self-paced learning. Yeah, you can simply, when you use online tools, you have the freedom to determine your own pace. This is really good. And then he talks about possible to differentiate learners based on their ability because it's individualized. So you can really follow who does what, even if you have the larger group of students. And he talks about easy to run classes. Yeah, I like that. No need to transport, no need of transport costs. So because you can access it everywhere. So you don't need to you don't have to transfer to transport to travel to meet the teacher. He talks about possible for student monitoring. Yeah, this is a very good insight. You can individually, you can follow students individually. You can know the progress of every student. And he talks about bridge the challenge of the both online and face-to-face learning. Here I don't understand. I don't know what he meant.
Well, I think we can take the best of both approaches. While we are blended learning, we can take the best of open online learning and the best of face-to-face learning, I suppose.
Okay. And then he talks about differentiation is possible. Yeah. Teachers control is also possible. Stimulates creative thinking. Interesting. He talks about, maybe I go to minus. He talks about new interpretation of teacher's role. And I remember, Ernest, we've been talking about this, and it's interesting that Hemedi has it, I'm really looking forward to seeing Hemedi next week. So he talks about the role of the teacher changing. Yeah, because now the control seems to be entirely on the learner. So he talks about isolation. If teachers and students do not meet, maybe a quick note. I don't know why Hemedi will put it in the minus. If the teacher's role changes, I don't know.
Well, I think it's a challenge. I mean, every teacher must realize that his role is changing. You can't go on like before, because you have to give a certain part of the responsibility of learning to the student. We teachers are used to have them around, and I am responsible that something is going on. So in a way, I think it's a challenge. That's why it's maybe minus.
It's not easy.
But it's also for the students, it's a change of his or her role. I mean, they have to take much more responsibility, more guidance, more they take more ownership of their learning.
Yeah. Yeah, so I agree. To shift roles is not easy. We are used of our authority, and then if we have to change roles, it's not easy. I understand it. And then he talks about isolation. If the teachers and students do not meet, and the student cannot get in touch with with other students, yeah, I think that's very true. And then he talks about class management and control is much more difficult. Yeah, you can't really control. You don't have control. You see, Ernest, we have been struggling with the advanced group. We can't control them because they are far.
Right.
Yeah, the best we can do is share the link, and if they don't see it and they are not available, then it's really hard. Yeah.
Right.
And then he talks about difficult to manage plagiarism and cheating. Yeah, I see it's an interesting point. So if you have to assess online, it's difficult to find out whether students are cheating or whatever. And I think we'll talk about this in the quality control. How do you handle this? He talks about the need for it needs a high level of self-control. Yeah, dropout rates. I've taken several online courses, and I know it's always easy to drop out, especially if the motivation is low. So that's very true. I agree with Mehdi. And then he talks about in the green, I have so we have Martin joining. Now I invite them. I am the host, Ernest. I already admitted him.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, you have forgotten.
I was just
the role.
wondering. Okay.
Yeah, the role is mine now. Yeah, so
Perfect.
and then we have interesting. He talks about Martin, you're here. You're welcome. Martin, can you
Yes.
hear?
Yeah.
Welcome, Martin. We are discussing discussing experiences from Hemedi. So Hemedi has submitted his work, and we are now talking about it. So you're welcome, Hemedi. Okay, and then he has I put in the green. He talks about interesting. So he says saves time and cost since learner can access materials online, learning at own time, stimulate creative thinking, yeah, enable learners to engage in learning and feel the sense that they are the source of knowledge, working from distant area. This is very interesting for teachers. Needless to attend the workplace daily. Really, I really find this work extremely interesting. So,
May
Ernest,
I
if you
make a
have
comment?
comment.
Just one comment about the first one in very interesting. You save time and cost. Yes, you save time of transportation cost. You might not spend money to eat somewhere else. So this is an advantage, but we should not forget that we need a bit more of infrastructure. And I've heard from several participants from the advanced group that on their school, there's no open Wi-Fi on the campus. Actually, if you want to have a blended learning approach, this would be extremely helpful to have. This produces also cost. So it's a mixed calculation that we have to make. We can save cost on one side, but we have to invest maybe on another aspect.
Yeah. Thank you, Ernest, for that. Maybe if participants have something to say, you can comment. So participants, if I have to explain, I mean, to clarify what Hemedi did, since some of you did not have access to the website. Hemedi was doing the SWOT analysis to look at the online experience, online learning So he looked at the advantages and disadvantages. So this is what he has done. So if you have a comment, when you hear online learning, what comes to your mind? Do you see opportunity or do you see more challenges? So you're welcome to share. So Ernest, I stop sharing and then you are the host.
Okay. Please go ahead and maybe make your comments to the question
Okay.
that Christian has
Okay.
made.
All right. So any comment based on Hamid's work? Grace. Grace, you have to say something. Grace, are you here?
Yes, she's
Hello.
unmuted. Yes.
Yes. What are your thoughts about online learning? Do you think it's possible?
Yes, it's possible.
Yeah. Are you getting what Hamedi is saying? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I get. Somehow concur with him for the advantage and disadvantage that he pinpointed. I just maybe I can comment on he said about the travel cost meeting.
Mm.
Instead of that cost you can share to bundle. You have to have bundle. So it's just the same like moving from one place to another.
Mhm.
That cost that you will use.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Grace. Anybody else want to share something?
Maybe for my study, though, I was just entered later. But
Yes.
what I can comment is the program was arranged by a medic was good and very, very interesting. But the challenge comes to our country cannot be applied in all places because of the problem of networks. The issue of bundle a person or a student or the learner
Yeah.
Well, you are absolutely
themselves,
right. And I
they
think
have
this is
smartphone, but the problems come sometimes. Some places do not have good networks, so that can hinder. Can hinder them to access such kind of information or such kind of learning online.
Okay.
That is
Yeah.
what I can comment. Otherwise, he did a good job.
Thank you, Martin.
Can I,
Yeah, Ernest,
I mean,
please.
this is such a crucial question. I mean, the cost to have network and accessibility for learners in Tanzania is very crucial. But Christian sent me once a paper from an institution that also wrote about blended learning as being the way to go in Tanzania. But once they decide on a higher level that blended learning could be a solution to many problems, one has to think of the cost. Yes, the internet connectivity, this is a cost, but think about the textbooks that we can, that we don't use, or some schools do not have enough textbooks, but by using the internet, one could work with less textbooks. So think about all the transportation and all. I mean, in the whole world, there have been made many studies about the cost. And I wouldn't now be the one who is telling you that it's for free. Certainly not. One has to invest, but one also can save other costs. That's why I think it could be especially for countries like Tanzania, it could be a real chance. I mean, it has been shown in a conference in Africa where people from all African countries met, and they also were discussing this problem, and they said, well, we have to go this way. There's no other solution.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think what Ernest is saying is, well, we have challenges with online, but we have a lot of opportunities. So it can seem to be expensive, but it's also saves a lot of time and resources, and So Martin, you want to react?
Yeah, of course, I just want to, not just reacting, just to argue. For what Ernest has said, it is good. It have a good and a lot of advantages than the disadvantages it will. What we can do and what we can share is the bylaws and the laws of our education system, starting from the Ministry of Education toward the Ministry of Local Government and the regional administrations. It just allow only university student and the college student teachers or college student to access or to have a phone, especially even into the lecture room, to the classrooms. But the problems comes to these primary schools and the secondary schools students. They are not allowed, it's strictly prohibited. Having a phone, not only a smartphone, just a phone, any phone, it is strictly prohibited. They are not allowed at all. So what need, if we need to implement this online learning, we need also to change our policy. We need also to change our laws.
Yeah.
Because not all schools have access with the computer lab. They don't have computer lab. Most of them, they don't have computer lab. But at the same time, students themselves, they are not allowed to have smartphone, whether at home, whether at school. So that is still a challenge. So we need also to try to convince the government to change such kind of policy, so that can allow even those students to have access with the smartphone, so that they can access online learning. And from there now we can able to implement it. So that is what I can think and the advice.
Brilliant, Martin. I like
Very
that.
good.
Yeah.
Actually, we have exactly the same discussion in Switzerland. There are schools, they don't allow the students to take their phones to school.
Yeah.
And I can somehow understand. I mean, the disadvantages they bring with them, with young people who are just following the social networks, Instagram and Facebook and so on, and they are getting really having psychological problems. But it's like with every technology has advantages and disadvantages. And I think one should also educate the parents and the children and the adolescents to use such tools wisely. And those people, I mean, I have a grandson, he tells me, I don't want to use the smartphone as much as before because it makes me, it absorbs me from the real world. So I think we have to live with these new inventions and take the best benefit of it and try to handle the negative aspects.
Yeah. So you're very right. I think sometimes we're very negative with technology because maybe we have less awareness. So what Martin is saying, maybe it's time that policymakers understand the positive side of the technology, and then maybe things will change. But now, you know, as Martin, you were talking, I remembered the online. I mean, was it a smart classroom? That was Darasa Mtandao. It was inaugurated. I think that was this year. So it looks like there are efforts by the Ministry of Education in collaboration with local government in appreciating, I mean, the online learning. So I think things do change, and with time, yeah, things can get really better. So maybe I take you through the planning. We talked about thinking your course in terms of what you can do online and what you can do face to face. So I want to show you an example of my own course, and maybe that will help you to think about your own course and see what you can do. So when we talk about blended learning, so if you were following since Monday, you are now aware that we are talking about merging, bringing together the online elements of learning and face-to-face. So you have all these two coming together, all right? So you have elements of face-to-face, but you also have elements of online. Why? Because there are limitations for both. You have the limitations for online. So Hemedi talks about lack of motivation. Sometimes you need resources and you may drop out because of less self-control, etc., etc. But there are so many opportunities. But when you talk about the traditional teaching, that's face-to-face, you also have opportunities. You meet this person. You know, we were trained for face-to-face approach. So you have the classroom management skills. You can give them, you see them, you can talk to them. So it's easy to do it. But there are also challenges with traditional teaching. When you talk about resources, when you talk about limiting times, it's costful in terms of you know, you have to travel, etc., etc. So when you talk about blended learning, you're taking advantages of both, and then you also eliminate the risks. I mean, the challenges for both. So we would like you to think of your course in terms of what you can do online and what you can do offline. So let me show you how you can look at your course and see the possibilities. Let me see if I can have a picture of the storyboard. So I'm actually talking about, so we have a terminology, the terminology called storyboard. How do you develop a storyboard? A minute, let me see my own storyboard. Sorry. So here we go. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Do you see this picture?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me explain. I teach psychology at University of Dodoma, and this is a course I was doing last semester. It's called personality psychology. So see, this is personality psychology. So this course was originally traditional. It's a traditional course. Okay. When we say traditional, that means everything has to be face to face. Okay. So after going through the process, you know, and I think I talked about this on Monday. So with the help of Ernest, of course, I started thinking of it in terms of, you know, how do you blend face-to-face and online experiences. So you see here, this is a course outline. So this is, I call it learning activities stories storyboard. So what do? This is a normal course outline. So I have weeks here, all right? So I have week 1, I have week 2, I have week 3, etc. So usually the semester has 15 weeks. And then I have the course content here. And then here I have the activities, all right? So here, if in the colored, these are sticky notes. These are my activities. And then I have criteria of performance. It's like the way I will assess I mean, it could be the learning outcome, the learning outputs for that particular week. So you see the color codes here. When I use pink is face-to-face, okay? Pink is face-to-face. So for week 1, course orientation and planning, all right? That is between November 6 and 12, 2023. So that was first semester. So for week 1, I will have 2 hours face-to-face, okay? I meet my students face-to-face. So by face-to-face, we usually use the abbreviation F2F, all right? So here, I will meet them for a seminar. I will give them orientation, all right? And then the same week, I will have yellow, okay? So yellow is online. So what does it mean, okay? In the course orientation, after my orientation face-to-face, 2 hours, they will go online. And what are they going to do? They will first of all do registration, and they will conduct online survey, okay? So these ones are available. I have tools available online. So they will go online. So I developed my course website. So they will go there and do registration and complete the survey, okay? And then they will have an activity. I call it independent learning activity 1. So they will do it online, all right? And then so yellow is online, okay? And then you have green. Green, in my sense, well, you can have a different interpretation. So in my context, in the context of my course, green means activity that is done face-to-face. Students meet without my presence. So this is not online, but students have to meet themselves. So it's face-to-face, but without my presence. Okay. So here you can see how my first week looks like. I meet them face-to-face for 2 hours. This is in the timetable. And then they go online, all right? So I have not specified time here. And then they will have to meet for collaborative learning activity 1. So this one, as I said, green means they meet without my presence. And then there's a way I will assess. So you see for week 2, I will have face-to-face lecture, okay? So because they are still new, so here I will have two hours. I talk about foundations of personality psychology. And then they go online. This is face-to-face. No, I mean, okay, so they'll go face-to-face. They complete an activity outside the lecture room. So this is not, the green is not indicated in the timetable. So they will meet as a follow-up for my lecture, okay? And then individually, they will have to go online for an activity that is called independent learning activity 2. So here I have also specified what they will do. And I have my way of assessing, looking at whether they were able to attain the objectives of the second week. So you look at week 3. This is just an example. So week 3, they will meet before I meet them. So you see green again. So this is face-to-face without my presence, all right? So they meet and they will complete this activity. It's available online, but it will be completed offline. And then I meet them face-to-face for follow-up, all right? And then they will also go online. So the idea, this is what we call, when we say storyboard, it's like the way you interpret the course content and design or plan how it will be completed. So you think of what can be done face-to-face and what can be done offline. This is what we mean by storyboard. So think about your course. Think about what you teach. Look at the content and try to have something like this developed. So you identify the activities that can be done face-to-face, the activities that can be done offline. So for me, I had the 2 types of face-to-face activities. Activities that I have to be present. These are indicated in the timetable and they're in pink, but they are activities that students do or complete offline without my presence. That means they can meet in the library, wherever they want to meet. But also there are activities where students have to go online. So in my case, I was using pink as face-to-face activities indicated in the timetable. But for yellow, these are activities that students have to complete online. And then green, these are activities that students will have to complete offline or face-to-face, but without my presence. So do you think this can make sense? Do you think this makes sense? And is it possible to do it in your own context? So back to you guys.
Very possible.
Lucas, you want to say something?
Well, I liked it. It can be possible to be done.
Lucas, if
Very
you can speak
convenient.
up. Lucas.
I'm saying that very convenient and can be applied.
Yeah.
Without
Okay. So Lucas,
any...
Lucas, you think this can be done?
Yes, can be done, and it is very convenient.
Okay. Martin, what are you saying?
Congratulations. Congratulations, Christian. You did the best thing.
Thank you. Can you do it?
Congratulations. I think
Martin.
it can be done, especially to our college.
Yeah.
And also it can be done to high school, secondary.
Yes.
That is possible.
Thank you. Grace.
Because most of the high school, secondary have access with the computer lab. But they have also some facilities that can enable them to have such kind of online learning. But the problem will come to all level in the primary schools. But to colleges, university, and the high school, secondary schools, that can be applicable. Excellent.
The good thing is you are teaching at the college, so you can do it.
Yeah, of course. And I will apply it. I will apply it. I like it.
Okay. Grace, can you do it? Can you develop this plan, Grace?
You must unmute.
Grace, can you unmute and say something? Elisha, as we wait for Grace, probably. Elisha?
Yes.
Yeah. What about you, Elisha? Can you try to have this plan? What you can do online and what you can do face-to-face per week. Is it possible, Elisha?
Yes, it's possible.
Okay, thank you. Juma, what about you, Juma? Juma?
Yes, do you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. Do you think,
Yeah,
Juma, you can plan what you teach, like the way? Can you develop a storyboard for your class?
yes, I can do, but
Okay.
what I see is
Yes.
the party for the online learning will not appear in my board
Yeah.
because of the maybe lack of facilities. Because here in our secondary school, we lack facilities like network. We don't have access to network.
Yeah.
So if I can do that, the party for online learning will not be there. It's just difficult for us to practice.
Okay. Thank you, Juma. I think we can help each other to
Yeah.
look at the best way to handle the challenges. Is that okay, Juma?
Yeah.
Okay. Grace, are you back? Grace, can you unmute? Grace, we would like to hear from you. Grace, you unmute. You click unmute and then you say something. Okay, so maybe Grace has challenge. Okay, so maybe Ernest, if you
Okay.
can say something about planning the course, developing.
Thank you very much for this thought-provoking presentation. I mean, there are plenty of questions probably going around in the heads, but that's why next week you will be there and you will clarify things. But I want to draw your attention to one element.
Yes.
I mean, we have seen in every week, you have 3 different approaches.
Yes.
The online, the face-to-face, and the collaborative part where they meet. And you made big groups where they meet in groups, not hundreds of one. So for the learners, that makes a big difference. Courses that are purely online are much more challenging for students. Here, you can always attend them every week and also focus on their questions. And also emotionally, it's much easier to be in a blended learning course where you from time to time meet other people, other fellow students at the lecture. That makes life much more easy. That's why I'm convinced that for the situation in colleges, this approach is doable, and it is also beneficial for the students who get more support, and for the teacher who can more easily get, for instance, the feedback from hundreds of students. That's just said, but it was great. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Ernest. And I was showing the whole page. I've tried this. This was for last semester, and it really worked, and students really liked it. So you can see how my role changes. Yeah. So you can see, as I said, pink is my role. So you can see I can start, and then in some weeks I can be the last person. So they can start online. So you can see for week 1, I start, but online follows immediately. Week 2, I start. Week 3, I am at the middle. Week 4, I am at the middle. But week 5, they are now used, they have experienced. I am, I'm the last person. So they start online, they meet themselves, and then I meet them at the end of the week. So I saw that it can really work, and students really liked it. And I'm convinced that we can try this and it can really simplify learning. And in the context of teachers' colleges and secondary schools in Tanzania, now we are talking about competence-based learning. And I know they are aware, our participants, all of us are aware about this. So it's a way of encouraging or empowering students, organizing the activities so that they can interact with resources, interact among themselves. So you can see, for instance, for Green, as I said, they are always meeting every week to complete some activities. They read from the website, and then they go online, they go to the website, they collect the resources, and then they work on the resources offline. And I'm telling you, my students were really, really happy to do this. And I'm very sure that if you can try this out, it can really help. So maybe as a takeaway for this week, we would like to ask you to think about your course this way. Try to imagine, go through your course outline, have a look at it, and try to see how you can organize your activities. What can be done online and what can be done face-to-face, things like this. And then when we meet on Monday, you at least have this picture in mind. So we would like is so for us who have done education, you understand the concept of scheme of work. So this is just the same thing. It's a way you organize activities per week. The difference is the activities here. You think of the activities. Which one can be done online? Which one can be done face-to-face? So you think about this. So we would like to ask you to go through the course you have chosen. As we meet on Monday, please have a draft of something like this. You divide your content per week. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, 7, etc. And then you have your content, and then you think about the modality, which one can be done online, which one can be done face-to-face. If you have the content, you can say, this part can be done face-to-face, this part can be done online. And then when we meet on Monday, it will be easy. It will be a starting point. So maybe if you can reflect on this as we wind up our session. Who wants to do a quick reflection? Can you do this? Can you do this as an assignment over the weekend? I've seen Grace saying she was in a difficult environment. She couldn't join. I'm sorry. We understand.
I will do the recording, and I will place the recording over the weekend on our website. So anybody can have a look at what we have done before.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ernest. Anybody to reflect? If you have something you want to reflect,
Christian,
question you want to ask? Yes, Martin.
Just a question.
Yeah.
I think what you have shared with us on storyboard, I think there is a need to prepare a link that will enable all students to join or to enter through that link, to register themselves through that link, isn't it?
Yeah, we will talk about it next week. How do you do that? You will learn more about it, Martin.
Okay, thank you very much. Otherwise, if it is possible, you can share your storyboard to the WhatsApp. As we have prepared, so that we can even ourselves eager how to design it.
Yeah, great. I agree.
You can also have a look at the website where this process is also explained, and everybody does it in his own way, but the steps are there.
Yeah. And then you can see at the background of Ernest, There are
Yes.
plenty of storyboards. Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
I
are
see.
mine. When I was
Yes.
learning how to do it, the first one at the top, that's mine.
Yes.
The
The
second
second one is mine.
not.
Is
Yeah.
mine.
The third one is mine.
Okay.
Yeah. So usually
Yes.
in the blended learning, you can't avoid the storyboard.
Mhm.
So I will share, and then you see how you can develop yours. When we meet in Moshi on Monday, we will have somewhere to start. So I think, having said that, Ernest, if you can say a final word.
Well, I'm very happy about this session and about your engagement, your motivation, and I'm very confident that this course will make a big change in your way of working and in your efficiency. I help whenever I can. If I can be of help, I will do it. Christian will wait for you, and next week I'm sure there will be a lot of learning take place. Thank you very much and have a nice weekend.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.